Okay, so this video is going to be a revisit of the Flutter hydrated blocks, which is a way to handle block architecture applications and also preserve the data that is being used onto the local storage. So the first thing that you have to do when you build such an application is that you have to do this Flutter binding ensure initialize, this first line at line 11. Then you have to do this hydrated block initialization, and you can see that I have just a very simple way to just initialize this for either web or mobile. And then after you do that, you initialize the block provider for any kind of Flutter block type of application. And then the rest of the application then proceeds. So the first thing the application is going to do is going to load up any pre-existing records from local storage. And well, this is just going to say load all the diary events, and we're going to then display them in the window like this one here. And then when we then display this window, this is the main screen for that window. And we have our block listener. So here we're looking for either the failure, or when we are loading, we're just going to show a progress indicator. And then when it succeeds, we are going to look at the actual entries of the diary and then render them to the screen. So if it's empty, we're just going to show there's nothing. If there is actual records, then we're going to render a list view of the diary entries as little cards, like here. So some of the key things to know about how to do this is in the block, you will have your definition of here like this of hydrated block and your data and your event and your state. And then you will most likely will need a cache in memory like this. And then you are going to keep track of the last time that you fetched from the cache. And then when you do a load, you're going to then say, I want to show progress and then show the load state with the data that's in the cache. And when you build something with hydrated block, there are going to be two methods that you have to implement.
Please subscribe to this channel and like this video to support this kind of work.
From JSON and to JSON. And from JSON is where your data is coming back from the local storage and coming back into the application. So here, we're going to look at the data that's coming back from storage, see if it contains the cache of the diary entries. And if so, we're going to for each one, we're going to convert it from JSON into an object and put it back into our cache. And then we also it's set up the last fetch diary timestamp. And then we send it back to the block event as a successful load. And then we'll pass the data structure that we have loaded. But when we are saving things from memory back to storage. So here we only want to save data back to storage just for this case of where we have data in a successful state. And then what we do is we go through all the entries, build it into a JSON format, and then return that data as a map of serializable objects. And then this will save it to memory. So the way that this would work is when this app initially starts, will be empty. And then if you create a new entry here like this, then you can see that this is another entry that was created a few minutes later than the previous one. And if you shut down this app, like I will do here, and then launch it again, it will load it from storage and bring it back into the application. Okay, so this is a very simple kind of hydrated block application. And here we can see down here in the actual loading and so forth that this application is not storing the data onto a server, but that's something that can be done in this point here of you can synchronize basically the data that's here with data that's on the server, so that you can keep track of what's on the machine or the device, and then you can then send it to the server and then reconcile what has already been saved and what has not been saved yet. You could also do it here on the add diary entry, and you can say, I want to then store the items at this case here. So that's really what this thing is supposed to do, but this is not implemented. But you can do that with the block style architecture where you have block, repository, and then UI. And this is the very simple kind of hydrated block application. And then soon I will be comparing this with React Native to show the plus and minuses or the complexities about building this type of application in either Flutter or React Native. So that's coming soon. And if you have any other topics that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments, and I will create a Flutter tutorial on